And now we will learn how to navigate around your QuickBooks Online app. What do you see when you first start the app and look at it? Well, there's a home screen that shows something called the dashboard. The dashboard is a graphical overview of your operations. Here we are in the main menu of our QuickBooks Online app. You'll notice there are no transactions during June of 2017, but once you start recording transactions in the most recent month, QuickBooks will give you a graphic overview of how well you're doing in this dashboard. Now we will use the main menu for our data entry in this video. The main menu is the three lines on the top left of the screen, and everything can be input from the main menu. If you look here on the top left, you'll see these three lines are your main menu. When you tap on them, you get all the main menu choices that you need to see. You can scroll through the main menu by pushing up to get the choices that are below, or pulling down to get the choices that are above. You may notice that the first four choices, or actually the first five choices, are just list items that you would put in data to set up to prepare for doing transactions. And we're going to do an example of input and edit of each of these items, or at least most of them, if they're different from logging in directly from your computer. Now, if you scroll down further, you will notice that you get to the transaction section. You will notice that QuickBooks in the app does not make available all of the transactions that you're able to do in QuickBooks Online by logging in through the computer, but you can do the ones that you usually do when you're on the go. If you scroll up even further, you will get the only two reports that you can look at through your QuickBooks Online. And as you can see here, that's the profit and loss and the balance sheet. And we're going to open those later. Now I'm going to tap the back button to go back to I'm going to tap the list of apps, tap on the app, and hope it cooperates. Now we're back at the home screen. Okay. So we're back at the home screen, and you may well ask, what is this plus sign up here in the top right? Well, I can tell you that we will not be using this plus sign in this course. All it is a list of things that you can do that are simply the same list as the main menu, but with fewer choices. So for the sake of clarity and for the sake of saving time, I will not be using that plus sign, and I will hit the back button instead. Because the plus sign only has some of the items in the main menu, I would like you to see all of them and get accustomed to the main menu. The best place to find past transactions is the activity list. It's on the top right next to the word dashboard. It shows all past transactions, and to get the older transactions, pull down and wait for them to load. If you have a little experience working with smartphones, you know what that round arrow looks like when you pull something down and you're waiting for the rest to load from the internet. This list will show only the kinds of transactions that are managed in the app, but it will show it even if those transactions were not entered from the QBO app. For example, you will not see any vendors' bills because the app doesn't manage vendors' bills. You will see all invoices, even the ones that you entered from the computer, not the app. That's because invoices are one of the transaction types that the app can manage. You can even edit any of those transactions on the list. The best place to find things that have already been entered into your QuickBooks Online account is this button right up here, Activity. If you go ahead and tap on it, you can see the most recently entered transactions in the order in which they were entered. You will notice that there are several, even though we just installed the app and started this course. That's because these are transactions that were recorded through the computer after the account was created. If you want to see more of them, you can pull down and wait for the circle to circle around. If you want to open one up and actually see the details, you can tap directly on the one you want to open and it will open up. Now, keep in mind, only transactions that you are able to make in the app will show up on this list. So even though you entered these transactions through your computer into your QuickBooks Online account, only the ones that are in this list of transactions here in the main menu, remember this list? So basically, even though these are not all the transactions, only expenses, estimates, invoices, invoice payments, sales receipts, only these will show up in the activity list. Here, let's go hit the back button and go back to the activity list. Only these will show up. And you can edit any one of these. And this will be a list of every transaction that fits into the category of the transactions you can make with your phone, and it's all of them since you created the file. Now it does give you the ability to edit them by touching the pencil, and you can change anything that you need. Okay, let's go back. Okay, and you can change anything that you need or any of the fields in this transaction. Let's cancel. And save the changes, the leave without saving, yes. Okay, and then of course we can hit the back button to go back to the list, and then we can either pull down or push up to find the ones that we're looking for. Let's edit invoice number 2 for Betty, tap on it, and again you have to hit the pencil to edit, and then you could change anything you want in any of these fields, and we will be practicing entering and changing the items in future videos. Now there is one place in the QuickBooks Online app that you can see all transactions regardless. The chart of accounts allows you to see the balance of every account in the QuickBooks chart of accounts. All you have to do is tap on the balance and it will show you the transactions that are recorded in that account. And then you can tap on each transaction to see them one by one. And in this case, only the kinds of transactions that the app manages will be available to edit. The others you can still see, but you must edit them from a computer. Now there is one place in the app that allows you to see all the transactions regardless of whether they're the kinds of transactions that you're able to record from the phone or the kinds of transactions that you're only able to record by logging into your account through a computer. That's called the chart of accounts. So let's hit the main menu, which are the top 3 buttons here. Okay, and we will scroll down, or actually in this case scroll up, until we get the chart of accounts. When you hit the chart of accounts, you can see that you have a list of every account in the chart of accounts that was created through the computer when you set up your QuickBooks Online account. And you notice it also shows the ending balance of each account. Now, you're also able to see every transaction in every account in your chart of accounts. Just open the chart of accounts the way that I showed and then tap on the account that you want to see the transactions of. For example, in this case, equipment only had one transaction. Now you will notice you can tap on the transaction and you can see the details of that transaction, but what do you notice is missing from the top right here? That's right, what's missing is the little pencil. That's because this transaction is what's called a bill, a bill. As you can see, that's what I'm pointing to, a bill. And a bill from a vendor is not one of the transactions that you're able to record in your QuickBooks Online app. So you can see it through your chart of accounts, but you cannot edit that transaction. So if we go back, now this is the transaction when it's, actually this is the list of transactions in the equipment account, and in this case there's only one. Let's go back. Let's look at some of the other accounts. Undeposited funds might have more than one transaction, so let's tap on it. Turns out undeposited funds has 3 transactions in them. Now, deposit you can tap on and open up, and notice a deposit is not something that you can edit in your QuickBooks Online app, because a deposit is not one of the transactions that you're able to record. So I'm going to hit the back arrow. But if I click this payment, I happen to know that, oops, sorry, that's a deposit. Let's go back. I happen to know that this payment is paying an invoice. And paying an invoice is one of the transactions that QuickBooks allows you to record and edit with the app from the phone. And that's why there's a little pencil up here. And if I tap the pencil, QuickBooks gives me the ability to edit any of these fields. And we'll be learning in later videos how to open up and edit the items. Let's cancel. Save the change, leave without saving. Yes, we're going to leave without saving. And then we're going to hit the back arrow in the top left to come back, the back arrow in the top left to come back to the chart of accounts. And of course, we could always go back to the home screen by tapping the main menu, scrolling all the way down. Okay, it doesn't really cooperate the way you want it to. It only cooperates when you don't. But again, here we are back at the dashboard, and my friends, that is the way to see every transaction that you can see in your QuickBooks Online app, and that is the way to edit the ones that you're able to edit.